Here we go. We are live.
Are we live?
Chris is talking about the state of indie film and how wonderful it's been this year. How good has it been, Chris?
It's been a crappy early year. I mean, some highlights here. The best thing I saw was from China. China. Neza 2, which was weird. I had to go watch Neza 1.
I've seen super chats about that.
Yeah, Neza is actually on YouTube for free.
When you say something Neza 2 in Chinese, I just think that's the whole name. I didn't know that was I didn't know there's a number 2 in there.
Neza 2. No, it's
there's a Neza 1. That's like Nosferatu.
Yeah, no, but it was just weird and it was just epic, really, in many ways. As an anime, it was very Dragon Ball Z. So that kind of thing where it's like overpowered, like these characters that it's ridiculous. It's like, you remember a character called Megaton Man? Was it Megaton Man? A comic book. Am I wrong?
If I did, I've forgotten it due to drugs.
Like an indie comic.
Yeah.
Does anyone else remember that?
I'm getting old, Chris. There's things I don't remember. Hey, welcome
to
the Nooner, everybody.
Yeah. I feel like it's been so long since I've had a nooner. And stars.
I gotta check my sound settings. Hang on. Did you check the sound settings?
Sound settings, checking.
Check. Okay, they're good.
Check.
I was gonna say, I thought so.
You guys are loud to me, but it's okay. It's all right. As long as the audience is fine, you good audience. That's all I really care about. Don't worry about my ears. Don't worry about mine. Hey, big news. Actually, day before yesterday, late last night, Kathleen Kennedy decided to leave at her leisure after destroying Star Wars. And the headline is, empowered female victoriously retires after completely destroying male-created property. Well done.
Yeah.
Women!
Oh my God.
Let's fucking go, women. You can do it. That is historic. It is historic what she did. And she's going to be given flowers. She's going to be given awards. They're going to fucking give her a parade and ride her out of town. And history will say that Kathleen Kennedy was a empowered female executive of the Star Wars brand that made money for a little while. And they'll completely miss the total mismanagement of the biggest cinematic intellectual property of all time. There will never be an equal, ever, to Star Wars. Ever. And we are 2 years away from its 50th anniversary, and it didn't make it, folks. It didn't make it.
Well, I put a link in the private chat to the thing that tipped me off that things were afoot.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, Chris.
Should I share this story?
You can share this story because Chris Gore, ladies and gentlemen, made a video about this a week ago.
Right. Last week. Yeah, there it is. So she received an award at the ASC, which is the American Society of Cinematographers, a very prestigious organization, and producers and directors kiss the ass of this organization because there are like only a handful of people in Hollywood that are great at the craft of cinematography. And they go and kiss the ring every year at this award show. So they get big people like Spielberg, Lucas, Stallone, among others. They get major bookings at this award show where they give awards to cinematographers. And I predicted that once Kathleen Kennedy gets a win, once you see she's getting awards recognition, that's what I meant to say. Excuse me. When she's getting these lifetime achievement, that's kind of when they're saying you're ready to retire.
Yep.
Right. It's time for you to retire. And this is a big award. Now, I know for a fact this took place, what was it, on Sunday, and the video for her acceptance speech, which I talked to someone who was there, saw the speech, said it was very good. It was a very good speech. There were a lot of restrictions on the organization. This video will not be long. I like in terms of where it appears. So I hope to be able to maybe watch it during this. Maybe it'll go live while we're doing the Nooner. If not, later this afternoon on the Hollywood on the Rocks. Exactly. But either way, I will share the video with you, Gary, and everyone else. But that kind of speech tends to sound like when it's a lifetime achievement is like, I'm done. I'm retired. What more can I do? They're giving me awards for just being me, which is thank you for your service. Bye-bye. There you go. So
exactly.
Exactly.
So I remember watching this video, and then I was watching a couple of the Kathleen Kennedy was fired. She was not fired.
Yes, that's true.
Let me repeat. She was not fired. She left of her own accord. And your video popped up, and I'm like, oh wow, I remember you talking about that last week. Crazy. Yeah. So, a lot of the normies on, well, not a lot, some on Twitter are like seeing this as a celebration. I don't see it that way.
You're celebrating too soon. You're like the Atlanta Falcons when they played the Patriots. Don't celebrate because you're up by 3 touchdowns. Give me a break. So,
even
measured.
Yeah, she's still there for the year. Disney has denied this. So Disney has come out and Lucasfilm and denied this. I think she's gone. I do think she's gone at the end of the year of her own accord to be replaced by somebody as bad or worse. But there is another name floating around there, and God, I wish I could tell this story. But we'll tell a little bit of it. We'll go half and half, Chris.
Can you dance around it?
I can dance around it a little bit, but there's a name. There's a name out there that people will go, no way. And that name is Kevin Feige. But it's like Doctor Who looks to be done too, right? That it looks to be Russell T Davies just reported out on Friday Night Tights. Russell T Davies is starting another show somewhere else. So it looks like it's done, but it's not official. We still have a season coming up. So I'm going to wait. I'm just going to wait because we've heard this stuff before. I mean, they could get rid of Shooty and RTD and get another showrunner and fire the show back up again. Probably won't, probably not, but they could. But overall, even if she leaves, I don't see this as a celebration. Great. She's gone. Damage done.
Yeah.
Damage is done. And it sucks because ultimately we talked about this a lot because we love Star Wars. We love Star Trek. We love Doctor Who. And look at all 3 of them now. And this is why we were shouting from the rooftops 5 years ago, 4 years ago, when there was a chance to maybe save it. And now it's, and I said in a lot of my videos there, you know what's going to happen? All the normies and all these fucking tourists are going to walk away. The shit we loved will be in complete dust and we'll still be there because we still love it.
Yeah.
That's it. So great job, Hollywood. And this affects more than Star Wars. This affects genre, like the thing I'm into, genre. Now, will it go back into the niches? God, I hope so. At this point, I really hope so. Hi, X-Ray Girl.
Hi.
Yeah,
I'm still in Texas.
Yes, you are.
I feel American.
Yeah, you feel free.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, there's another guy who retired who's still around. His name is Trudeau.
I know. Oh my
God.
God. It's like real life relationships. Don't just listen to what they say, see what they do.
Yep. I think he's gone
He's
next
still
month. Next month is he gone? Or
I don't know, but
when's
he's
your-
like
when's your
promised
election?
$5 billion. It's supposed to be October, I believe.
That's
$5
more than
billion
next month.
to Ukraine. That's a lot. But anyways,
Well, yeah. Well, it's our money. You don't have $5 billion in Canada. You got it from us.
maybe
USAID.
5 billion
Yeah.
pesos.
5 billion pesos. So, what was that? Could you find the article that Chris, I retweeted Chris, with his great statement that, basically turns, that triggers
I have
everybody.
to do that every 3 months. I have to do that.
Oh,
I have to just because the first time I did it, people came at me. Now they're like,
I want the article.
now
he
they
retweeted.
don't. Yeah. I quote tweeted this thing where I
The
said,
variety.
turning Star Wars into a girl brand will turn out to be one of the biggest mistakes in cinema history.
It
Words
is.
to that effect. Costliest mistakes.
It is. Billions have been left on the table. So,
Billions.
I mean, again, I'm pretty sure she's gone at the end of the year, probably. After some fanfare, maybe she'll get a little love at the Oscars. Do you think she'll get some love at the Oscars? Maybe
This Oscars, it's too soon.
Too soon. Okay.
Unless.
Well, they need to fill
announce-
time with all the shit they cut out from Amelia Perez. So
Right. Well, all these kind of awards are bullshit. They're all look for awards named like Vanguard, or Maverick, or Icon. Like, and she'll get the ASC is the first one, but there will be more lifetime awards. So look for those.
Who will run Star Wars after Kathleen Kennedy leaves? One of Hollywood's hottest and hardest jobs opens up. And we say, who wants to call the shots at Star Wars? No, really, because it's kind of thankless job. Well, I think you got that zoomed in a lot. That's great. It's like 3 words. No, I need
That's
it.
how I think you read your texts, right?
Oh, no, really, because it's kind of a thankless job. Of course, the intergalactic franchise is sacrosanct. Did I get that right? As culture institution. So the president of Lucasfilm, home to Star Wars and Indiana Jones, has one of the most prestigious posts in Hollywood, and not anymore. Nobody cares about Indiana Jones. I do. But the people who care about Indiana Jones are in their 50s. But there's really the reality. They'll be trolled on social media, parodied on South Park, and criticized as too woke. Where's the lie? And too corporate, too slavishly devoted to George Lucas's vision. I'm sorry.
I mean, the thing that started it all, there wouldn't be Star Wars today without those original movies. It's so ridiculous.
Or too willing to depart. Or too willing to depart from Jedi canon. And whoever gets the gig will be taking over a low point in one of cinema's biggest and most beloved. Scroll up. X-Ray Girl, thank you. Beloved franchises. The powers that be at Disney-owned Empire haven't managed to get the firm off the ground in 6 years. I would say 13, but that's okay. An eternity in today's hyperactive culture, and the movies that have appeared in the decade plus since Disney acquired Lucasfilm for $4 billion have been an exercise in diminished returns. Oh, wow, they're actually admitting that now, both financially and critically. Meanwhile, Disney Plus spin-off television shows such as The Acolyte have been unceremoniously canceled after one season. I think it was ceremoniously canceled, Chris. Yes. Don't you?
Yes.
And yet within hours of the report that Kathleen Kennedy will step down as president of Lucasfilm at the end of 2025, executives, creative talent, and mega producers were scrambling to get on the radar of Disney CEO Bob Iger and Disney Entertainment Company Chairman Alan Bergman. By the way, anybody who was scrambling to get this job, Chris, would be the first person you say no to, right? This is honestly, This is like a president or king job. It's like, I don't want it. You got to find somebody.
I don't want it.
The people who want it right now just want it for the label. They know nothing about it. They'd be the worst people imaginable. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There are only so many of these jobs to be had after all. Cracking the code on Star Wars could mean wielding a Kevin Feige-like influence in entertainment. Well, I got a whole video coming out on Feige, on our boy Feige tomorrow.
Is he? Do you think he might be like a good manager? He hired good people, creative people, and that first 10 years of Marvel was more Favreau, Gunn, among others, and the Russos. And then since they're not there, it's just Feige, and what Feige's done without Favreau, Gunn, the Russos has been Phase 4 and 5. So and you notice on the Disney Plus shows, it's a Kevin Feige production, right?
Yes.
It says that now.
And that's part of the video. And yes.
So what I'm saying
he's gotten rid of all the good people around him. And he was good for a while. But Rob Liefeld's not wrong. He's lost his fastball. Yeah. But the successful applicant, and we'll get back to Kevin Feige in just a second, but the successful applicant must offer a very particular set of skills. Foremost amongst them are deep relationships with the artists and auteurs. The auteurs. Like Rian Johnson. That's critical because under Kennedy's Star Wars has cycled through a wide range of A-list filmmakers. She's fired more directors than she's hired. From Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who she fired, Patty Jenkins, who she fired, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, who she fired. That's not to mention a litany of in-demand talent like James Mangold, who directed the worst Indiana Jones film ever made, and that's in a world that has Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi, who hasn't done anything, Donald Glover, who hasn't done anything, Rian Johnson, where's that trilogy, whose space opera-centric spin-offs have yet to materialize. Kathleen Kennedy has never had trouble attracting top directors, but keeping them employed has been an ongoing challenge. Even filmmakers whose movies actually debuted on the big screen, such as Gareth Edwards' Rogue One, saw the final product either reshot or dramatically refashioned or directed by somebody else in the editing process. The next person to direct a Star Wars movie will want assurance that they won't quickly join the ranks of the hired and fired. Whoever gets the Lucasfilm gig will have to offer, and you can zoom in a little bit on that. It's kind of annoying now. Thank you.
I lost where I was.
Oh my God,
No.
this thing's a tome.
There's so much. Okay.
So, and whoever gets the gig will be taking over a low point in one of cinema's biggest and most beloved franchises. Powers that be at Disney-owned empire haven't managed to get a film off the ground in 6 years, an eternity. We've already talked about that. No, we got to go down.
This is
More.
This is reframing history in some ways. It's a going over the history and kind of reframing it.
Whoever gets the Lucasfilm gig, yes. And Jesus Christ, stop reframing it. Whoever gets the gig will have to offer an expansive vision for whether they take the 48-year-old franchise, that involves streaming, as well as more consistent output of movies. There's been an unintentional 7-year gap between 2019's The Rise of Palpatine and the last feature film to hit screens, and the upcoming The Mandalorian and Grogu, a continuation of the D+ show that Lucasfilm plans to unveil theatrically next year. So, okay, I want you to hit Control F and hit Feige. See if they mention Feige.
Oh,
there we go. So the perfect candidate must offer more than a passive interest in all things Skywalker. Like Marvel's bosses Kevin Feige, they must be deeply versed in the mythology that Lucasfilm established in 1977. Okay, here we go. I might get back to this article later. It's a little long, and I kind of want to be in control of all of it. So here, Kevin Feige, his name has been pushed around a little bit. Kevin Feige, arguably, Chris, you've heard this too, bigger Star Wars fan than a Marvel fan.
And not only that, there were rumors, and it was very public, that Feige was going to do a Star Wars movie. Remember that? Do you remember that was in the news?
I do, Chris. I do.
That was out there, that Feige there's a Rian Johnson trilogy. Feige's doing a Star Wars movie now. In fact, they were asked about it. They were asked about it on red carpets. You can find footage.
Yes. And Kathleen Kennedy said there never really was one seriously in consideration. And from her perspective, okay, here, I can't tell the whole story. But I know the story. I know it. So from her perspective, she's not lying. Just saying she's not lying. From her perspective, she's not lying. But it was in serious development from Kevin Feige's point of view, based on what he was told by management at Disney. That management at Disney was talking to Feige, not really talking to Kathleen Kennedy. But Kathleen Kennedy's kind of hard to talk to. Kathleen Kennedy has a lot of layers. She's also, she is a micromanager, but she's also a bit aloof.
That's a good description.
Bit aloof. Yes.
That's a good description. I've heard that she is sort of in control, but absent. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Doesn't have a creative bone in her body. So Kevin Feige was not just going to do a movie. He had a plan, a full presentation to take Star Wars, we'll just say somewhere else, to do something different from a Star Wars fan. Now, whether you like Kevin Feige or not, that's what was going to happen. It was a full plan. And Kathleen Kennedy was blindsided by it because of corporate politics. I got to be careful here. Management not communicating with each other. This shit happens in corporations. So if you've ever worked in a corporation, you know what I'm talking about. Like
Right.
One lower manager will have an idea and think it's so good that like once he springs it on the big boss, the big boss will just love it. And a lot of times the big boss, for whatever reason, ego, we'll just say, for example, ego, and they feel threatened, tells it to fuck off.
There are layers of approval in big corporations,
Yes.
especially in Hollywood, what Mike Benz would call the blob. It's the blob of all this middle management, and they all want to assert their power.
Yep.
But you realize the person you may be talking to hasn't even talked to their boss. So when you're pitching something, you may pitch something to a low level or a development executive, but then you have to pitch to their boss. Like, wait, am I selling it to you or someone else? It's like, no, you realize there are layers and layers of approval. And even if it gets to Kathleen Kennedy, she 100% can't, green light something because she has to go to the money people.
So,
right.
Right.
She can develop stuff, but yeah. So all I'm saying is layers and layers.
There's layers. And Kevin Feige was told Kathleen Kennedy knew about everything, and she did not. And they had a meeting, and it was short. The end. Don't know how the relationship. I mean, like, you could kind of look at it as, well, she didn't know. I was told she knew. She didn't know. I kind of get where she's coming from, but it didn't play out like that.
Her people did not keep her informed. The other thing is, the bigger thing with that, it's basically power people in Hollywood like doing a dick measuring contest or a clit measuring if we're referring to Kathleen Kennedy. But what's more interesting to me is what was Kevin's vision.
What
Because
was Kevin's vision?
Because I'll say this, I don't think Kathleen Kennedy ever had one other than girl boss, emasculate men. That was her vision.
Oh, yeah. What I know is there's EU books on it.
Okay.
There's extended universe books on what the vision would be. And it would be taking things outside of Star Wars, outside of the galaxy. Something to that effect.
Huh, okay.
There's EU books on it. That's the vision. And I think a lot of people would have been, well, I know a lot of EU fans would be completely down with that, but well, maybe not. But like, if it was adapted properly, which it won't be. Kevin Feige is, God, he's younger than me. I think he's like 51 or 52.
Yeah. He's got a decade or two in him, at least.
Oh, yeah. Kathleen Kennedy is old. She was never good at her job. She was the worst studio head in the history of fucking Hollywood, dude.
I had a friend reach out to me who saw my video last week, who said that he was at Amblin
Oh,
when
cool.
the news came down about Kathleen Kennedy, you know, running Star Wars, and they all were like laughing or like, why? You can't run that. So,
Yep.
yeah.
And well, the proof is in the pudding. You can't deny the success of the Force Awakens is clickbait. It was we were promising you something in the trailer, the reuniting Han, Luke, and Leia, and it never happened.
It never
And that's
happened.
and the pure love of Star Wars propelled that movie into the stratosphere. And then it's just been diminishing returns. And there hasn't, as the article points out, there hasn't been a movie in the theater since 2019. Lucasfilm's last effort was an Indiana Jones flop with Harrison Ford in it, directed by a competent Oscar-nominated director. Has he won an Oscar? Has Mangold won an Oscar?
I don't know.
He should have
I'll
Walked
find
the
out.
Line. Walk the Line's fucking great, dude. Ford versus Ferrari, which didn't get nominated for anything, was fucking great. Those are great movies. 310 to Yuma. Come on. But he can't really take the internet discourse. So here we are talking about an old woman who should be writing $12 checks to her grandkids, running Star Wars into the ground when she never should have. She stayed there for a long time because of her relationship with other men. Her relationship with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg kept her in power. And that must eat at her a little
James
bit.
Mangold 35 times, and he's won for things like Ford versus Ferrari, Best Adapted Screenplay, Logan.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's won.
Good.
And he's a
And
lot of nominations.
Ford
So,
versus Ferrari absolutely deserved Oscars.
Yeah,
Such a
yes.
great movie. I love that movie. Yeah, Chris. So Kevin Feige's a logical choice, considering that he had a plan for Star Wars that was rejected. Well, somebody in your building who's successful, and you go, well, why would you take him off Marvel? Maybe he'd want to. Maybe after Doomsday and Secret Wars, he's like,
yeah.
and maybe he gets a win. He goes, okay, I'm gonna go over here. I'm surprised he didn't do that after Endgame. You could, if he retired after Endgame, Chris, he'd be a legend.
Yeah,
absolute
he
legend.
would be a legend. Mic drop, boom! I did this.
Yep.
They'll take a vacation for 5 years and then return to do something else, or a couple years. And the thing is this: for him to take over, the bar is so low.
Yeah.
For what fans expect out of Star Wars. If he literally had two men bashing each other with lightsabers in a store, in a loose story.
If he had two men on the screen together, Chris, for the Star Wars
two
story.
men being manly. Like, that's what I mean. Like, look, Disney absorbs IP and turns it into, Disney is a girl brand. It's Disney princesses.
I've always said that. Yes.
It's a girl brand. Initially, we all thought, hey, that's a good match, because I remember Star Tours.
Yes.
Like, that was a great, and Lucas always kind of had a foot in a relationship with Disney in a good way. He seemed to trust Disney. So initially, when that was announced in, what was it, 2012? 2011, 2012.
October 2012. I'll never forget.
Yeah. I remember pulling over my car and calling my friend, a big Star Wars fan. He directed a movie called Star Wars, and we were giddy. Like, we're going to get Han, Luke, and Leia, the sequels. We've dreamt about them since we actually played with Star Wars. No one collected Star Wars figures in 77 or 1980 or 83. We freaking ripped them out of the box. We put them in the sandbox. They sat out in the rain. The paint chipped off. We freaking played with them. We made adventures up in our heads, a vision of what the continuing adventures of Han, Luke, and Leia would have been. That's what we did. I still have my die-cast metal Millennium Falcon that I got, and it's covered in dirt, and it's banged up and effed up like it lived in the Star Wars universe. So in any case, all I'm saying is that it would not be difficult to do something that would like make fans go wild. It's like a Blade movie. Like, okay,
Hey, that's an impossible movie to make, Chris. That's not fair.
Wesley Snipes versus vampires. Just
Impossible. That's impossible. You
a-
can't even do that anymore.
I don't know.
We don't have the technology.
I got to take a pause and find this video I want to share.
What's that?
Of just as Star Wars fans.
Cool.
I gotta show you. I'll continue. While I find this.
No, she was cooked when South Park
I found it.
Made a special about her, and they were trying to be nice to her at the end. Remember that they're trying to be nice to her at the end. Like, oh, it's just this. She just got caught up. It's not really her fault. It's all her fault. That's what being in charge is. It's taking responsibility.
So from the We Love Physical Media Twitter, fans have more creativity than the studios. Can I show you this 30-second clip? Are you sharing it?
We are sharing it.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
That's cool.
How it's insane.
These are not the people you want to listen to, though. You don't want to listen to fans.
Having gone to Star Wars Celebration for years, the best stuff was fan made. Whether it was fan made merch, T-shirt ideas, fans understand the brand. Fans understand the brand
And care about the legacy of it.
You cannot be a part of something. You can't. Look, I learned this from a seminar on sales when I was a kid, worked at a video store, and I would film like weddings and events. This was like, I'm a teenager, whatever. And I remember filming this seminar on sales. And one thing they hammered in this seminar, you can't sell something you don't love. You can't sell it unless you understand it or love it. Whether it's insurance or real estate
or comic books
or cookies or cupcakes or whatever it is, you have to love the thing. You have to actually be a customer of it. They even say this when investing in stocks, right? You have to invest in a company where you love the product. Why would you give money to a company, have them take your money to make more of it if you didn't love the thing they were doing or making?
Right.
So that video proves, like, having gone to most of the Star Wars celebrations, I missed a few, but most of them, at least the first 6, like, it's amazing what fans come up with. Better costumes, better concepts, better ideas. Like when they kind of just expanded. Is that a yawn, X-Ray Girl? I don't know.
No, I just saw something on Twitter that like is shocking. Michelle Trachtenberg died.
Michelle Trachtenberg?
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
What?
I don't know if this is real. Sorry.
Hang on.
Okay. All right. Breaking news.
If this is
pull up the article.
What?
Holy shit. Dawn is gone. And Roberta Orsi died yesterday too.
Yeah, I saw that. Holy
shit.
39.
39. She was in Gossip Girl. She was in Buffy, played Dawn. Michelle Trachtenberg, dead at 39 years old. Do we know why? Actor's cause of death is not yet known. Well, she's young.
Oh my God.
I mean, it
says natural causes from ABC. There is no natural causes at 39. That's when you're 89, maybe.
Yeah. Gossip Girl star Buffy star Michelle Trachtenberg has died at 39 years old, according to reports. News the actor's death broke on Wednesday. She was known for various movie and television appearances throughout the 90s and early 2000s, according to police sources who spoke to the New York Post. Trachtenberg's cause of death is not currently known, but is not being investigated as suspicious.
Wow.
Wow.
If we don't hear, yeah, I don't want to speculate. Somebody died. That sucks.
Oh my God.
Wow. And Roberta Orsi, who used to be Alex Kurtzman's writing partner, but the actual true writer of that team, who worked on, I think, Xena and Hercules, a protege of Raimi, passed away from kidney disease at the age of 51. He was run out of Star Trek, I believe, after Into Darkness for attacking a fan. Which I never, it was Kurtzman getting rid of him. Kurtzman is a piece of shit.
Ugh.
And Kurtzman got rid of him. And he was the more talented of the duo by far. And the actual Star Trek fan, the one who was a real Star Trek fan. You might not have liked what he did, but he was an actual Star Trek fan. So rest in peace, Roberta Orsi.
Wow.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring down the conversation.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I saw your mouth go open and not close. It was very unusual for you.
Well,
Normally your mouth is closed.
yeah. Rest in peace, Michelle Trachtenberg.
Wow. Oh my God.
39. God.
So young.
Oof. Lots of death around lately. Yeah.
Dude, I keep a running list of people I know who I've been good friends with who have passed away. I recently had an ex-girlfriend pass away.
Yeah, you did.
Who was younger than me. And then Morgan Spurlock, who was a friend for years, John Schnepp, my friend Ron Wells from Film Thread. He was a really prolific Film Thread writer. It's just sad I'm at the age. I feel like it's
what did Spurlock die from?
A cancer.
Okay.
He kept it quiet and it was just announced. I didn't know. It just was announced in the media. It was weird. He sort of self-canceled. Which I thought was kind of bullshit. Some woman was gonna, accuse him of something,
and he
which was and he outed himself, and then his whole life crumbled.
His Comic-Con documentary, I liked and hated.
Yeah, it was for normies.
It was for normies,
but John Schnepp was the best part of it.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
the worst part. Was a comic shop owner for Mile High.
Oh no.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Trans Story Hour. He's one of the early innovators of it. Innovators of it. Okay, back to Star Wars and Kevin Feige. Don't know how you transition from that, so you just do.
Yeah.
You just do.
A transition from Trans Story Hour.
Trans Story Hour from Chuck Rosansky. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I think Feige is, I think it's an action. I think don't put it out of the realm of possibility. That's all I'm saying. He can finish out his next phase and go to Star Wars. Because maybe if you think about it, he's done all he could at Marvel, and what's going to need to happen at Marvel is a absolute reboot after this. That's sorry, spoiling my video. That's the only way it survives. And there's things you should be worried about, even if the Thunderbolts is like an average movie. Do you know it's directed by? Do you know what the Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are directed by TV directors? One of them's first time directing, never done a movie before, ever.
Yeah,
ever. So, and we saw that with Cap 4. That guy's really not done anything. And he was obviously in over his head. And we're talking years, and people are getting, and it's hurting genre, which sucks. But I think Kevin Feige is a log. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying a lot of people going, it'll never happen. I wouldn't say never. I wouldn't say never based on what I know and a lot of other people know. And that's why his name's being floated out there, because Kevin Feige I not say he pushed it, but he let the legend get out there that he was a comic book fan. Remember? He doesn't talk about it as much anymore, but that MCU book that came out talked about it a little bit. But the legend got out there that this was a guy who read comic books. Like, he's into it. No,
well, he was. I mean, he did have a history. He worked for Avi Arad.
He did.
Also,
we're talking about
for Richard Donner. He was an intern.
He did. He worked in Hollywood. with people connected to comics, but I'm talking about comic book reader, went to the shop on Wednesday to pick up his new releases and read comic. He did not do that. He watched.
Did he grow up reading comics?
No, but that's the legend was put out there that he was a comic fan in the sense of he grew up reading comic books, and that was never true. He said, I had some pajamas and I watched some animated series. Okay. But he did say, I'm a bigger Star Wars fan. I've read books. I've read all that stuff. So he was always a bigger Star Wars. He said that on the Star Wars, that show I never watched any of those stupid shows.
Right.
But
well, that's what J.J. Abrams,
I pulled the clips.
Star Trek director said. I mean, look, I grew up reading comics all my life, but there's a weird thing that I have gaps because I had different things going on in my life.
Yeah.
I was young dad. I discovered girls as a teenager. So they're like gaps, but I do remember Megaton Man, which was an indie comic in the 80s. And that's what I referred to. That's what Naza 2 reminds me of. Like overpowered.
Who did the art for this?
God, who did back in the day? But I remember really loving this comic because it was
it's
so
got a
weird.
slight tick look to it, but it's not Ben Edlund.
Kitchen Sink Comics. I'll look it up.
Oh, it's Kitchen Sink. Okay. I know Kitchen Sink.
Yeah. So I bought a lot of weird comics at the time. So
I'm aware of that publisher, but yeah.
Don Simpson.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
There
But it was
go.
this comic was like a parody, but it was also kind of sincere and a parody at the same time of a overpowered. I mean, look up the art, Gary. You'll.
Oh, I'm aware. I know Don Simpson art. Very familiar. with that.
Yeah.
He's fucking
But
awesome.
this was ridiculous and fun. It was like, made fun of. It was its own universe. So there you go.
Back when comics were healthy and they had a good they had a good indie scene and Kitchen Sink Press was out there. Oh fuck.
Oh God. I just remember taking a chance on weird stuff like Yummy Fur. And just there was so much weird good stuff, like non-superhero, but also superhero, and freaking Watchmen and The Dark Knight Returns. That made comic books mainstream. That's when like Time Magazine was writing about Watchmen and The Dark Knight Returns.
I would go to Leonardo DiCaprio's dad did indie comics. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
and in San Francisco and a long time ago, and you go to Last Gasp and like there's this publisher I would go to and you would literally get a shopping cart, but it was just all indie shit, and it was Kitchen Sink. It was all indie shit, and that's where I would do my indie shopping. But it was it's always like San Francisco indie stuff, so it's always Crumb type of. I'm a Robert Williams guy. Not a big Crumb fan. If you ever saw the Crumb documentary, and his fucking brother should have been in jail. And there's probably good reasons Crumb ran to France. We'll just say, oh, he just liked it over there. Really?
And remember,
he's still alive, by the way.
There was just that era. There was a comic by Ted McKeever called Eddy Current.
Yes.
Which was weird. And I liked when Bill Sienkiewicz did covers for New Mutants, it was I like my jaw would drop at every cover.
Dude, his Legion stuff at the time I didn't like. And then I love the first 2 seasons of the TV show. It goes off the fucking rails in season 3, but the first 2 seasons are really good. And I had a new appreciation of it. Crazy character, Legion. So don't put it out of the realm of possibility that Kevin Feige could someday maybe run Star Wars. It would be a better choice than what they're probably going to come up with.
Yeah.
There was I forgot her name now. Some girl from Bad Robot was Kathleen Kennedy's number 2 forever. She was part of merchandising, and it looked like she was going to be the heir apparent, but she's gone now. Like, who else could it be? Who else could take over like Star Wars? I know Star Wars Theories put out a couple of names out there. I think Baird was one of them, but I don't think there's anybody who would want the job. They'll probably want to get a Lucas Spielberg protege, and they're not going to want the job. They're just flat out not going to want it.
I really think in the end, there's two ways.
Frank Marshall. Put Frank Marshall in charge.
I think there are one of two ways it goes. Someone like a Feige or a Feige stature, which is very few people.
Yeah, like we were just talking about comic book readers.
Who knows?
James Gunn read comic books as a kid. He's a comic book reader. He's in charge of DC. We'll see how well that goes. But yeah, who would take over Star Wars?
No, but
want the job.
Hey, if DC fails and Superman fails to take flight, so to speak, pun intended.
Yep.
Feige could swap out Star Wars and bring Gunn back to Marvel.
Yeah.
If DC unceremoniously, like they're already talking, is the Authority happening? The Authority movie?
No, they put it on the back burner, and it looks like it's not happening. If you listen to what James Gunn said, he said a lot of what we're doing in the first two movies stepped on the Authority script.
Right.
So it's being shelved. And listen, when Guardians came out, that was the most Star Wars movie I'd seen in a long time.
Yeah, and a good one.
The prequels.
Yeah, so two ways: Feige or someone of Feige stature, which it's a short list, and I can't even. No one comes to mind. Or they hire some weak climber from within Lucasfilm, a woman that Disney can control. That's the one of two ways they go. They roll the dice on Feige. A gamble, probably costly, won't be cheap.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge,
or they get Phoebe Waller-Bridge to run Star Wars. But if you are objective and you look at, where the brand is, I think people are saying Star Wars needs to go away for 10 years. Look, people don't remember what happened 3 weeks ago. Star Wars can go away for 2 years or 5 years max, and they can bring it back. It's not a decade of putting on ice. Lucas, back in the day, he put Star Wars on ice, brought it back. I don't think it's a decade because people's memories are so short. If it goes away, 5 years is like 25 years in older years, if that makes sense.
I mean, no, I get
today's internet, like TikTok, blah, blah, blah. Like Star Wars goes away. No Star Wars anything for 2 years. No Marvel anything for 2 years. Feels like 5 years, and then you start to bring it back.
If they stop Marvel for 2 years, you'd feel it. You would.
Yeah.
Star Wars has been gone. Star Wars has been gone. Most people have not watched D+. So in the mind of most people, Star Wars has been gone since 2019. They're going to find
5 years.
Yeah.
6 years.
When Mandalorian and Grogu come out, it'll probably do pretty well. I mean, Favreau's directing it. So there's a chance it could be a competent film. I don't really care much about it, but whatever. But here's where you'd be right, Chris. If they took 2 years off. Okay, so by the way, first thing that's getting canceled, the second Kathleen Kennedy's last foot leaves the door is the Rey movie. That thing is fucking done. That thing is cooked. It is not fucking happening now.
Hey, Daisy Ridley is a star.
Oh,
I saw The Cleaner.
We're going to get to that.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
We're going to get to The Cleaner because Chris and I have seen The Cleaner.
Oh my God.
Best comedy of the year, bro. By far.
It's the marvels of Daisy Ridley movies.
But that movie's getting fucking canceled. So here's where you'll be right, Chris. If they take 2 years, another 2 years off, and then somebody comes in and has the balls, metaphorical or real, to go, wiping the slate clean. The only fucking real Star Wars is prequels and OT. Right. Then you have a chance.
Yeah.
Then you have a chance. But if you continue with this shit, then you're I don't care who the fuck you are.
And maybe what you do, this sounds wild, recast Han, Luke, and Leia and make a proper sequel trilogy. You make Heir to the Empire, Chris, Timothy Zahn.
I have predicted this since 2015. Okay. And, it will and like Kathleen Kennedy being fired, it will eventually be true. They are 100% going to remake the original trilogy and the prequels. Take it to the fucking bank. In our lifetime, they will do it because that's the last card they have to play.
But they will make that decision after probably George Lucas is gone, I think. It's sad to say. I don't even
Yeah.
want to think about that. I mean, there
Well,
are so
I'm
many
hoping
great.
he lives to 1,000 then.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Palpatine, just hook him up to some device. Where
Yes.
he's
Somehow
pumped
George came
drugs.
back.
Yeah, somehow George returned. That would be great. Somehow George returned. Where's that meme? So that would go viral.
Yeah, he ain't coming back. But yes, you're right.
Yeah.
And that's highly unlikely that somebody will come in and wipe the slate clean. They'll have to. So any creative with their salt who's a Star Wars fan is going to go, all right, you can offer me a lot of money, but like I have to keep all this stuff. Fuck no. It's the Kobayashi Maru of Star Wars. It's you can't win this one. Too much damage has been done. So that's why I say shelve it for 10 years and then just move forward and like never fucking reference the old stuff. That's probably, but they're not going to shelve it for 10 years. They can't. They spent too much money on it, and Disney isn't really Disney anymore. Disney is all the shit they bought.
Yeah.
All the shit they bought and then immediately ruined. Chris.
Like a Voltron of IP. I'm sharing a meme there that's relevant. Thanks to our legion of memers there, core member. We did it, Kathy.
Did it. Yay.
Star Wars. Yay. There you go. That's where we are.
That's where we are, folks. And ultimately we laugh about it, but it sucks because this is something that should have lasted forever, that could have lasted forever. And you didn't have to make everything great. That's the biggest fucking lie out there at all. It's like Star Wars fans are impossible to satisfy. And you're basing it on the discourse of the prequels, which despite the discourse that was out there, all still did pretty well.
Yeah.
All still did pretty well.
Those movies did well.
I think it was Clownfish who pointed out that their best year, Lucasfilm's best year in toy sales was 2010. 2010. So things were fine. Things were fine. All you had to do was make a bunch of 7 out of 10 movies. And, fuck Harrison Ford. You'd send Han Solo off in the sunset with Princess Leia.
Yeah.
You recast Luke Skywalker at this point. Fuck Mark Hamill. But, like there's a million ways you could have just done it. And they're like, no, we want to subvert expectations and we want to make an art film. And here you are. Here you are. And you really wanted to push a progressive agenda in Star Wars, in a timeless classic. And you took something without an expiration date ever and put one on it. And as I've said before, it's now a subcategory on a fledgling streaming service that needs to attach itself to a successful streaming service to say it's even successful.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. But that's how Disney Plus is successful. Disney Plus is a massive failure, and that's why, and they knew it, and that's why they ran to buy Fox to get Hulu. To get Hulu. All right. Chris, hang on. You and I have seen, the year's young. The year's young. But the laugh out loud comedy of the year, it's in theaters. I doubt any of you have seen it. It's called The Cleaner. It's Daisy Ridley's DEI hard for climate change. It's her production company.
It's Die Hard on the outside of a building. You know how they did Die Hard on a boat, Die Hard in a casino, Die Hard in a building, Die Hard on the outside of a building, starring Daisy Ridley as a window washing cleaner who's ex-military with an
special forces,
with an autistic brother
fighting climate change terrorists.
Climate change terrorists led up by Clive Owen, prominently featured in the trailer, who has 5
minutes
maybe, and it is laughable.
It's Sanji from One Piece is the bad guy.
Yeah. Girl Boss the movie, and it's so. Is it a comedy? It felt like actually the Madam Web of Daisy Ridley movies. It's that funny.
It is definitely like in the Madam Web realm.
Yeah.
It is.
Madam Web.
It is a fun watch for how horrible it is, dude. There is somebody invokes when the climate change. I died. I was in the gym watching the last part, and I died when this happened. So Sanji's talking to the media. He's like, "You're going to pay for what you've done to the earth. You didn't listen to the Gretas of the world." And I'm like, "What?"
Not only that, did you notice that every single man in the movie is a sexist pig asshole?
Yes.
Like even the most simple exchange, like a guy that talks to her in the control booth, her supervisor, she mouths off to a guy who's going up in the elevator, who is like a big businessman, sort of like looks over at a woman who's a cleaning woman who's pregnant, and she derides him. Every single man. And then the female police chief, I don't know. She's not a terrorist. I got a feeling. Like all the women are right.
She's a woman. She can't be a terrorist, even though and even the terrorist women are like better than nicer than the men.
Right. They're all better than the men.
It's so good.
It's
so fucking good. It is so intersectional. I text you. I'm like, this is a comedy, right?
Yeah, it's a comedy.
Because I am laughing my ass off. And it's a very earnest attempt at doing these working man, which I kind of like, beekeeper. We even have a movie coming out called The Working Man, the bricklayer, the fucking accountant, shit like that. But they're doing it with Daisy Ridley, action star. They dyked her up a little bit. She's got the Gen Z fucking tattoos that look like you scribbled with a Bic pen on your fucking arm. And she's a great shot. She was special forces. She beats the shit out of dudes. But most of the time she's outside because she's a window cleaner. She needs the job to take care of her brother, who she keeps putting in facilities, and he doesn't want to be there, but she can't take care of him or something like that. And this is where I'm going to flip around the mindset, and I'm going to look at this movie from the lens of the woke. So you mean to tell me to shift the power dynamics of your movie, you created an autistic brother so Daisy Ridley can be more powerful than him and be in charge and be the lead and be the boss. Think about that just for a minute. This is how these woke movies are the most racist, fucking horrible things. And if I was the kind of person who got offended about things, but I don't, I'd probably be offended by that. Is he really autistic? And what level of autistic is this actor?
He's kind of a genius, like autistic.
Yeah.
In a way. He's smart. It's a superpower, like a mentat.
Yes, but he's also very cowardly, and she loves her brother, but she treats him like kind of shit in the movie. But the whole thing, the message is climate change throughout this whole fucking movie. And so Clive Owen is more of a revolutionary. He doesn't really want to kill people, although by the time he gets in the building, they've killed plenty of people, so I don't know where that comes off. And Sanji is just radical and thinks human beings need to be wiped off the face of the earth so Mother Earth can heal. And by the end, by the way, there's a police chief, girl boss, and as soon as she walks on the screen, you're like, girl boss. There needs to be some girl boss theme. Here she comes. She starts dressing down the men, and they go behind her back, and they get some people killed, and she doesn't fire them right away for some reason. But yeah, she sees her sister up there who like they framed to be the terrorist, and like you said, she goes, "No, I just got a feeling because she's a woman. Right. She can't be the terrorist. She's obviously the star of the film." And then we get some exposition, we get some background between the two, which is nothing. But the girl boss police chief is kind of the most cringe thing in it. Like,
I agree.
Because by the end, Sanji was wrong for wanting to kill people, but their message was good.
Right.
We need to stop this awful climate change. And yes, they want to kill people for denying climate change, not just simply being a part of a corporation. Did you catch that one? It's like, you pushed the narrative to deny it. You need to die.
And then I love the thing where they get the billionaires or whatever to admit on video what their crimes were. They got to record some social media post.
Isn't it weird how we're trying to get people within the government, the biggest corporation of them all, to admit what their crimes are right now, and these are the same people fighting against it, but then they make a movie like this.
Yeah.
It's a little inconsistent.
Yeah. It's look, it was laughable. I couldn't take it seriously. It was so levels of dumb. And this is the second movie that I'm aware of. There might be more from her production company. Somehow she got a production company deal. I think it's with her husband. And so this is and the last movie she made was another sort of weird message movie. I have to look. I reviewed it. I completely forgot about it after I talked about it. It was so bad.
Oh,
But,
and then how do you like at the end where they beg for a job at Marvel? You know, because she publicly said, "Oh, I want to work for Marvel."
Yeah, in the press tour.
In the press tour. Well, in the movie, she's begging for a job at Marvel too.
Yeah, in
At
a
the
way.
end. In a way.
In a way. God, it's just
Daisy Ridley, as you said, is not a movie star. She cannot lead. She's not that great of an actress. Sorry, she's horrible in this. Like, terrible.
She is terrible. The other movie she made was called Magpie, which is a weird thing about her husband who's cheating on her. And it's such a dumb twist at the end. I laughed out loud. I won't give it away, but it's her husband seems like he's cheating, and it's another girl boss thing, but it's masquerading as something else.
Yeah.
So it's awful.
Yeah, thanks for imploring me to see this movie. It actually was.
Don't see it.
It was funny. It was.
But Cleaner was funny. Didn't you laugh? Because it's
yeah.
so dumb.
Yeah, I had a good time watching it. It was.
It reminded me of Madam Web. You're like,
it's short.
Okay.
At least it's short. It's like an hour and a half long. So,
90 minutes, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, there's something you can be entertained by a bad movie. I like bad movies. There's good bad, there's bad. This is laughable bad, like Madam Web's level. So if you want to laugh, go see it. I actually recommend it for a laugh.
For unintentional humor, yes.
It's probably on VOD now, but I know it's in theaters for sure.
Yeah, it'll be
limited. It's not everywhere. It's a couple hundred theaters, but there you go.
Where's it going to be on VOD? I wonder. I mean,
everywhere. It'll be everywhere. Everywhere in like a week. Give it a week.
Easy.
It'll be under the category in theaters. That's like a selling point now for VOD.
When does Cap 4 hit VOD?
Probably soon.
Yeah.
Probably soon. Did that collapse. I saw you guys talk about it in the Real BBC. I got some real history on the Real BBC. I didn't know it was bagging, boarding, and chat. I thought BBC was something else.
No, it's bagging, boarding, and chatting. It just started up.
What did you think it was?
I didn't want to say what I thought it was. But
now you have to say
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
X-Ray Girl knows.
Oh, she's gonna play.
I don't know. I can't read your mind. That's why I asked.
And then part of me was like, because of the opening, I thought it was the BBC. You know, like the BBC British Broadcasting. Like I thought it was that.
Well, I mean, it's not a name we took real seriously. You know, it was just supposed to be like, it started out as this casual show where we talk about comic books that were bagging and boarding.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, it was like relaxing to watch you like
it is
bag your comics and then show them like this, like, you know, each comic got a full screen. Like it was fun. I mean,
yeah, I've been going through my whole collection, rebagging it for 4 years now. I'm nowhere near done. Nowhere near.
There's a lot of boxes.
Multitask.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, The Cleaner. Yeah, I would definitely say if you want a good laugh, watch it.
I recommend it.
Really terrible. It's really
just know you're seeing a bad movie.
Yes.
It's a bad movie. There's no debate. It's a bad movie. But you can have fun watching a bad movie.
This should cost her Star Wars movie though. Like
yes.
Like even Lucasfilm's got to go. Oh.
I wonder what the box office was. I'll look it up.
Look it up. Look it up. I need to see that Led Zeppelin documentary in IMAX. I heard it's really good.
Oh shit, Gary.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
What did it do?
Okay. Quiver, which is a small indie label that
Yeah.
Film Threat reviews a lot of their movies. They distributed the movie. It debuted on 378 screens in the US. On 378 screens, took in $426,150. Just an per screen average of $1,000.
I can't believe it made that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
400,000.
like less than $500,000. I'm saying that, look, doing the Star Wars sequel trilogy, you had Harrison Ford is a legit movie star. You know, whatever people, you know, maybe recently did some bad things, you know, Captain America, you know, the last Indiana Jones. But at the time they were making the Star Wars sequels, episode 7, Harrison Ford, a star. You're going to go make another trilogy and your biggest star is Daisy Ridley. I don't think you can do it. She cannot. You would need to what they call cast up around the lead who's not famous. So you would get like, you know, good actors to surround, you know, your weaker actors, you know, like so yeah. Wow, did that bomb? I'm not surprised.
Not surprised either.
Yeah.
Not surprised either. We got a big Oscars show coming up this Sunday, Chris.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Hey, can I play a very short video?
Of course you can.
I want to play a short
I love how
video.
you railroaded Az into another episode. That was fucking great.
did. By the way, I thought he mentioned it on like real, like, I don't know, on his as with
Okay.
what?
Az, you need to ask him every time, okay?
Yeah.
For some reason. Even though
Okay,
he's on it every year.
I profusely apologized and I told him you don't even need to show up, just pop on. But here's this little promo I shot. I thought you'd appreciate this.
Hey everyone, Chris Gore here, and I am at the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Museum, and this is your friendly reminder to watch the Film Threat Oscar Watch Party on Sunday, March 2nd. Alan Ng will be there, Az from Heel vs. Babyface, Verbal Riot Show Dante James, and of course Gary from the Nerdrotic is Toxic channel. So join us as we watch the Oscars together, kind of suffer through it. You need us. And I have one Oscar prediction that comes true every year, and that prediction is it will be boring. Unless you watch us, then it'll be a lot of fun.
Well done. So yeah, programming notes. Forbidden Frontier will be starting early, and I will be there for the whole show this time.
Well, you can show up. The Oscars don't even start until 5 p.m. Pacific time. So you've got some room. We'll kind of like bring people in, but I can't wait to hear what you think of. Did you see The Apprentice yet?
I haven't seen The Apprentice yet. I've seen, there's a couple I'm just not going to see, Chris. I'm not going to see Nickel Boys.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not going to see fucking
Don't worry.
But I've seen, I've seen, why do I blank? I'm blanking everything now. I've seen half of them.
I went to the theater and I've seen all the Oscar shorts, animated shorts, live action, and doc shorts. Can I tell you something? So much of it is woke bullshit. There was one live action short about an ICE raid, like a guy goes in for his meeting to get his green card and ICE arrests him. It's so manipulative. It's such propaganda. And there are to me clear, really good winners in each category, but they're not the agenda movies, the message movies. Those are really bad. There's the animated short that's really good. There's like one that's really good called Magic Candies. So I'll predict. I'll give you the shorts. I know which shorts will probably win. So, but yeah, the Apprentice is the one that, because you know,
well,
I
that's
can't
not nominated for Best Picture.
What's that?
It's not nominated for Best Picture though.
You know, it's not.
No.
But Sebastian Stan, his Trump is so good, and I think it's a warts and all Trump, and it humanizes him. I swear.
Except for the rape scene.
That's
Right?
the one thing
Yeah, that's kind of a deal breaker, dude.
that is the one thing. Cut that scene out. It's a brilliant performance, but I feel that I've been watching all the award shows, Gary. The SAG Awards was insufferable on Netflix. Insufferable speeches from actors. You saw the red carpet stuff. I think you
Yeah.
retweeted one thing from I can't believe a 12-year-old.
Yep.
I mean, what? It's the actors are so dumb, uninformed, and out of touch. Get ready. I don't think there's any indication. Although SAG Awards, who cares? Independent Spirit Awards, who cares? Like these are, but I watch all of them because there is gold.
Yes.
And like the SAG Awards was probably the worst of all of them. It was the Actors Unchained in terms of it's on Netflix now. You can suffer through it. It's
The Film Actors Guild Awards.
the
On
Film
Netflix.
Actors Guild Awards
Yeah.
on Netflix. It was live actually. So I watched it. I cannot believe these speeches. And there's a weird thing where there's an assumption that everyone thinks the way they do. Did they not notice the last, since November? Okay. And I do think the country's like in thirds, right? I believe this. It's like a third of the country's like all rah Trump, love Trump, 1/3, right? The other third is like, I won't like him for any reason. This is a third of the middle that's like more reasonable. Like, I just want what's good for America. I want America to succeed. I'm open to what Trump's going to do. And the Film Actors Guild does not know that this is the way the world is right now. Like, I mean, look at Joy Reid, who's rumored to be running Lucasfilm. I think Joy Reid could
Perfect
step
choice.
into that role. I think she'd be great. So like they haven't woke up to this fact that like, hey, the world's not on your side. You can't assume everyone hates Trump. And this is what sucks about being an LA resident. Everywhere I go, there's an assumption that because people don't watch my YouTube, which is fine, people don't pay too much attention to I don't give a shit. I don't care that people don't watch me. It's fine. But there's an assumption, I think, the way they do. And I think for myself, I'm comfortably Gen X, and that's where I've always been.
Mhm.
Question everything. I'm not on any team. I'm on the side of I'm independent, and so whatever. But there's a weird assumption. I'm literally at a film screening at the American Cinematheque, and there's a Trump a-hole. Am I right? Winky, winky, because I know you all think like I do. No, not everybody does. I'm tired of it. At some point, I just have to. I'm trying to think. How do I speak up? Because I see Justine Bateman. I love her. She's amazing on social media. She wants to be on The View. Make that happen.
Oh, that'd be great.
Get her on The View. With Joy Reid gone, maybe The View should be next. But anyways, this assumption everyone thinks a certain way isn't true objectively.
And hasn't been.
So it hasn't been. So I watched the SAG Awards. I'm like, oh my God, the Oscars is in trouble. The Oscars is in trouble. And I really think there are going to be certain spite wins, right? Like I do think like Sebastian Stan being nominated for The Apprentice as Donald Trump is an opportunity to talk about that. Now, I actually think Conan O'Brien will be pretty middle of the road. I think he'll be funny. He was never super political when he was his show. I liked Conan. I went and saw him live when he was, fired and all that stuff. I went and saw him live. I don't remember him being super political.
He did the Haiti is a safe place thing. He went there.
Oh,
Haiti is already great. He did that, but on his show, not necessarily that I remember.
I don't remember. But and I think that the Academy is well aware it's the biggest show. Calm the F down on the speeches. And having gone to the CCA, I was there and saw it live. That was pretty calm too. There weren't too many. I mean, even what's her name? The host. She's insufferable. She wasn't as bad as she has been in the past. But we'll see. The SAG Awards, woof, that was bad. The Spirit Awards was awful, terrible. So we'll see, Gary. We'll see. But Amelia
see.
Perez, that'll be a thing. I hope it sweeps. I think there'll be some vindictive people voting just to own the chuds, right? That seriously, like I gotta like this thing because the people I don't like this thing, or you know what I mean? Like you've talked about that, like
yeah. No, I'm gonna like the thing that somebody I don't like doesn't like.
You know what I want to get? I want to get a gold card. This is my. Have you heard the gold card thing that Trump's doing?
No.
I wish I was rich enough for that.
You can get you can become an American citizen and get a gold card. Now you have to be vetted. This I actually took off of an item of clothing, and I keep it in my wallet to trick people. In certain situations, I can bullshit my way in a place I shouldn't be. Anyways, he announced this program that's rolling out in 2 weeks, which for $5 million, a foreign person can, it's actually, instead of a lottery, you can just buy your way in, and companies can buy American citizenship for workers they want to bring in. Now, if it's $5 million, you're not bringing in people to work the phone banks. You're bringing in people that really add value to your company. So
I hope there's vetting.
There'll be serious vetting, and then it just makes it's a level playing field. Like $8 $8 a month for a verified check mark. It's like and he's going to use it to pay off the debt. And he did the math. He's like, we're going to charge $5 million. Hopefully we can sell like 50 million. We'll be able to pay off the debt and have extra money. Like I saw the press conference where this came up. Go watch it. I'm like, holy shit, what a creative idea to erase the debt, raise the value of our money, and make get American citizens invested in the success of this country.
Yeah.
It's creative. We need creative ideas instead of the rot and blob that is, over the last 50 years since I've been alive, like just diminished our country. All these selfish, like no one feels sorry for the federal workers at all. 5 things. If I can't name 5 things I do in a day, it's a bad day. Yeah. I mean, think of all of us, right? Who work normal jobs. I've been a small business owner since I was 19. I've been a small business owner. I've failed. I've succeeded, but it's all on me. So I have no sympathy for these federal workers who cannot come up with a list, and that it's not micromanaging. I mean, even because I've worked for other companies, you have to perform. So
You have to perform. I've gotten emails. I think I got one at Tesla. Like, what did you do today? It was really easy.
Yeah. You just say what you did.
Yep. Really easy.
Everyone. Yeah. So I'm sorry. And you know what? There are good federal workers who do work. So let's keep the best and get rid of the bloat.
We can get rid of half of the federal workers and it would work fine. Okay. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
let's keep the best, but there's too many. We have no representation really as taxpayers. They get these sweetheart deals. There's people still working from home. You got to be fucking kidding me at this point. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
you're still working at home. Unless it's like, there's always the exception, but like most people should not be working at home. If we have these big buildings that we're maintaining, or fucking sell them,
Yeah, well, I guess all the federal buildings are only 5% occupied. 5%.
Jesus.
The other things, I'm a Doge fan. I love Doge. And you hear that like Elon wants to start a new organization, FAFO.
Fuck around and find out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't stand for that, but we all know what it does stand for. Yeah. So it's to maintain so that Doge doesn't, the Doge changes don't get reversed.
Yep.
And there's creep. So it's going to be a new agency to keep things in check. But and didn't Elon take Twitter from a 10,000 employees to 2? And it's I don't know if that's the exact number, but dramatically, and it runs better. X is better. Yes, it's, it was early going, was like that first 6 months was a little rocky, but you could say stuff. And I don't know.
Yeah, we need to do the same thing. The government, a lot of corporations, there's just a lot of bloat, a lot of redundancies, and they want to keep that game going, right? And they'll sell out their country or other people to do it because they were never about like the illusion of socialism, the absolute illusion of socialism and communism. It's just authoritative government. It's dictatorship. It will still have an elite. And it will just be one giant corporation, the government, which is the biggest corporation of them all, the most evil corporation of them all. And it's amazing how many people stump for that, because they're the answer. No one.
Did you hear one last thing. Did you hear? This is great. We have a president trolling idiots.
Yes.
There is a proposal, a Republican proposal, to do a $250 bill with Trump's face on it. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
No. Oh, dude. It's let me share.
We got to get to soups though.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe you could find it. But number one for 1999, must be nice to fail upwards for so long and destroy something people loved. I feel bad, but not really for the idiot taking her place. I'm sure it'll be a Femi they them that will return Star Wars to glory. Yeah. I mean, that's what Hollywood is. And it really is encapsulated with Kathleen Kennedy. She is Hollywood. Hollywood, they love to say there's a lot of smart people running Hollywood. There really isn't. There's a lot of really average intelligence people in charge of a lot of money who have convinced themselves they're geniuses. But look at all the decisions. Like it's indefensible. It's keeping her that long is indefensible.
Here's what I would say, that I used to look up to people in elected positions, mayors, governors, Congress people, senators, presidents. And now all of this exposes that people who work in government are unremarkable people. They are incredibly unremarkable. And what has happened in the last just over a month has been like a world. This is what you can do when someone actually applies. Can you imagine? Oh God, I want one of those so bad.
I do too.
If that happens, that's insane. But there's a proposal to do that.
I want it to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, people need to work. I get it. And I've worked in corporations for a long time. And after working in corporations, I realized that's something I never, ever want to do again. I don't, sure, there's the security and you get benefits, but there's, you have to dedicate a lot of your time. You have to put up with a lot of people who aren't as dedicated. Even when I was there, I like to work, who aren't as dedicated and are petty. And I would rather just be on my own. I'd rather be on the corner at a hot dog stand selling hot dogs. That'd be like, that's more freedom. I love the freedom of setting my own clock and I did it for years. I'm waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Fuck that shit. I'll never do it again.
Yeah, I've worked for companies because I did Film Thread, then I did it on the side, then I had jobs, and I hate working for corporations. Now I can apply some of I learned something. I can do that.
Yeah, you can apply it. And we all have to do it and we all have to pay our dues. And I understand that. And some people might like it. I know people who like waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and God bless you for it. I did it for 15 years straight, Chris, and I hated it every day. So.
It reminded me of when I did group projects in school, and I'd end up doing all the work. Group projects, you're like, oh God, it's a group project, and people don't pull their weight. So I'd end up doing the whole project. We get an A+, but whatever.
But hail to the working man, though. Thank you because you keep the country going.
Hell yeah.
And woman.
Anyways, sorry for laughing too much. Soups.
Vermithor for 50. I watched Raiders last week for the millionth time. The only thing I don't like about it is seeing Kathleen Kennedy's name on it. I know. You know, I used to have reverence for the lady. Because her name was on that movie. The woman has taken modern American tales and run them into the ground. She deserves to be buried in the dark tombs like the Nazgul. And she'll escape. Just like they did. Mark Knopfler?
I think so.
From Dire Straits. Thank you for $20. Thank you. Cheers. See the little Feige with the earring and the makeup. Yeah, buddy. That's his own real hair. The little Feige got his own jet airplane. The little Feige is a millionaire. I know what you did there. They don't play that song on classic rock anymore, do they? Anak Maman reviews and rants for 50. Great news, Gary. The second you left,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. It got really warm. I'm like, yes, you're right. The second you left Wisconsin, it got really warm. The snow melted, and now we're in the middle of early spring. It's almost if God was like, while Gary's up here, I might as well get him to experience the cold for the first time in his life. It was the first time in my life I'd have been in sub-zero temperatures. Yes, that is true. That is a fact. Yeah, my wife told me that the giant backyard of the house is a lake right now because the snow melted so fast. Yeah. Well, it's 80 degrees here.
It's so nice.
It's 80 degrees here. It's freaking nice. I'm wearing shorts. Fat Steven, JFG has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Hail, brother. Mez 303 has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. We appreciate it. Rust Colo 1 for 20. I would love someone to ask Hollywood when they think the first woman will successfully complete full Special Forces combat training and become a certified Special Forces operator in the U.S. military. So far, there are 0. Well, remember, in the movie The Cleaner, Chris, she had actually completed it and beat a man, and the man was upset. So through their fight, she decided to quit before she got fired because of sexism. Maybe things are different in the UK. Maybe they lowered their standards. I don't know.
Maybe.
All I know is she has a giant head. So that'd be an easy target. But Ray Gonzalez for $5. Someone call ICE. We need to send X-Ray Girl back to Snow, Mexico.
I'll be returning soon. Don't worry.
Don't be a snitch. The Lone Boomer for $10. As long as Bob Iger is CEO of Disney, there is no saving Lucasfilm or Star Wars. Swapping out leadership is just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. Yes. And Bob Iger's replacement will not be any better than him either. I think next in line, I can't remember her name now. Who's running ABC, Chris? The woke white woman who's running ABC. Yeah, she's in line to possibly do it. And like, when a corporation gets that big, they make the safest move for investors so they don't rock the boat for a quarter. That's when you reach maturity. That's what happens to corporations. Disney used to be an innovative corporation with Walt Disney. It was innovative. Yeah. It was an innovative corporation. Now it's just corporation, and it buys other corporations to remain a corporation, but it doesn't innovate shit. Even the volume, they didn't innovate the volume. They bought it.
Yeah,
they bought it, and that's what happens. Nikos Knight for €5 says, well, I'm glad to see Doomcock was finally proven correct about Kathleen Kennedy's departure. Hey, we're eventually right. How did this hack fool you for so long, Gary? Listen, I'm a sweet summer child sometime. What can I say? I can be fooled. Daniel Rude of the Joel Ogicide. Does it even matter? The company still exists. These people are still employed. Someone will just carry on her work until the entire company burns. Yep. As far as like the rumors for, and there was a lot of people. There's Mike Zero out there too, pushing that the Kathleen Kennedy. If you want to get your groove on doing that stuff for 5 years, by all means do it. That's part of free speech and free expression. But up until recently, I had an old friend who shopped at the comic store who worked at Lucasfilm. Now they left. Well, and they would tell me every time, she's not leaving. Every time that rumor comes, like, I don't know why they keeps doing this. She's not fucking leaving. She's not leaving. She's not leaving. And then eventually he said, I'm leaving. And he went off to greener pastures. Couldn't take it anymore. Aaron Pipes for $5. The real reason X-Ray is so giddy. She also will be able to vote for Newsom and Iger for president. They are both so cute after all. Help X-Ray.
I don't think they're cute.
Red X for $10. You thought Trudeau was cute.
Doesn't mean I think those two are.
Yep. Hello from another timeline. Somehow Palpatine is dead. Get Theory to take her role. If not, put me in, coach. I'll give fans what they want. Take care of Fellowship. I'm still in Schlurpo debt, Gary. I'm sorry you're in Schlurpo debt. That's a lot of Schlurpos. It's a lot of Schlurpos. Yeah, I think honestly, there are probably some fans out there who would be better suited to fix it, but I don't know what there is to fix. I think the next plan is to just remake the OT. I think the Rey movie gets canceled, though. I think it's done now.
I think so too. When you look at like Daisy Ridley, her post Star Wars career, it's about as good as Mark Hamill's, in the 70s and 80s. He had no post Star Wars career. He literally couldn't get hired because what he did was, outside of playing Luke Skywalker, nobody cared. Now he had a legit career in voice acting. I think mainly because animators were a fan of Mark Hamill being Luke Skywalker and wanted to hire him to do a voice in a cartoon. And you know what? He was good at it, but he has become insufferable. I think he might be an alcoholic. And
I suspect so.
And my God, that sad thing from, the BAFTA, whatever, that was so pathetic. Although I kind of want to cosplay in a tuxedo, wearing only underwear and no pants, and like socks garters and a lightsaber, and walk around. People know what I am.
That's great.
Get the Mark Hamill hair.
Aaron
I might
Pipes.
do it at WonderCon. I put in for a panel.
Oh, you did? We'll see what happens this year.
See what happens. I'll probably not get it.
When does press come up for Comic-Con?
Let me find out. I think it's now.
It's probably
WonderCon
soon.
is-
No, Comic-Con. San Diego
Oh,
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going this year. I got a lot of stuff going
Yeah.
on. Aaron, oh shit. I should have done this at the beginning of the show.
What?
I hear background noise. What is that?
Is that me?
Shh, I don't know. I signed off on my book.
Oh, I saw that. You put out a tweet.
Yeah,
It's done.
It's done. It's off to the publisher. The last word that we changed, it's not the last word in the book, but the last word that we changed was there was a nickname that I didn't like. So to protect the innocent and the guilty, we have combined characters and people, and we're not using anybody's real name because it's really, we don't want to do that. But there's nicknames, right? And there was a dude. I have no idea what his fucking real name was. I have no idea if he's alive. The nickname we attributed is not the guy it's based on, but I loved his nickname so much. Like the last word was ballsack. So his nickname was Ballsack, and even his wife called him Ballsack, and everybody fucking called him Ballsack. So that was the last word put in the book was Ballsack. So yeah, it's off to the publishers, and we're looking at a launch of late. They're saying late March. I'm thinking more like April.
April
Would probably
yeah.
be.
Something will go wrong. Trust me.
Yeah. So I'm thinking April,
Be a
and
delay.
hopefully we have some copies for the meetup, but we will be doing, that's all I know right now. The plan is, because it's going to be available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and stuff, but we're going to do a signed limited sale, probably through Rippus End, and we'll do that. But I still have to talk to, they don't know that. Well, they kind of know it, but I still need to talk to them about it. And we'll as soon as it hits the printers and starts moving forward, I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know, because a lot of people
do a signing and a bonus item, like a bookmark or something that you get only if you buy it from you.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Awesome.
We'll do something.
Yeah, and then by the way, I'll do the same thing I used to do with old issues of Film Thread. When I'd see Film Thread at Barnes and Noble, I'd take it, I'd put it right in the front. So what I'm gonna do, all the bookstores in my area, I'll pop around, I'll find your book, I'll make it prominent on display.
Yeah.
And then I'll take pictures.
Oh, thanks. You're the man.
And you know what? Everyone should do that.
Yeah.
Everyone should do that. Go to your bookstore, even if you've already bought the book, whatever, it's fine. Find Gary's book, put it right front center. Take a picture and send it to Gary.
This is all your fault, by the way.
Oh yeah,
It's all your fault. You're the one who pushed me into it.
I just want to read it.
You're the one who pushed me into it.
You got to get on Rogan to promote it and talk about it. I look. I just feel like that you on Rogan would be amazing.
That'd be fun. We talk about fucking ancient civilizations for 2 hours. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, that UFOs and prison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prison. Yeah. So much fun. But yeah, that'll be out soon. Thanks. I'll keep you guys updated.
Can't wait.
Aaron Pipes for $5 says, the only reason I believe KK's story is Gina's discovery will be coming out by then. I don't think she will be able to remain as that info goes out. I think that's a really good theory, Aaron. I don't think you are wrong at all. Now, Gina put up a great tweet of just...
you almost say twat there for a second.
I almost said
Careful.
twat.
Yeah.
Why am I blanking on her name now?
I'll
Gina
find the
Carano.
tweet.
Find the Gina Carano tweet. And I think, the universe tends to unfold as it should. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go, Gina. So we'll see if it goes to Discovery. That would be the greatest gift to the internet in recent memory. In recent memory. That'd be funny if you get redacted Disney files.
Yeah.
Eric K for $5. Chris, you can't always get what you want, but sometimes you get what you need. M Poe for $11.99. These are euros. The reason everyone else will fail is because notes orders from the top down, like Sam Raimi. Does anyone that the final edits are Feige or someone? Lost in translation a little bit there. But Sam Raimi, poor Sam Raimi, working for Marvel, being a company man. That should have been a good movie. And
he's a good guy, man. Yeah. He's a good guy. I've seen him speak. I've seen him at conventions. He's a legit nerd. He's super passionate. I've seen him on panels. He's awesome. Love Sam.
Echoes of the Ancients for $2. Put a chick in it and make her lame and gay. Stevie Govo for 5 British pounds, proper money. Hi, Gary, Chris, and X-Ray Girl. Have you guys seen the Skywalker Stories YouTube channel using AI? So much heart and love for Star Wars. Disney should really take notes. They don't, though, because when they see something better, they either try to crush it or they ignore it, and they get jealous because there's a bunch of people who aren't talented working at Lucasfilm now. And it needs to be, like our government, needs to be gutted. And I just don't think that's going to happen. I just don't. Time Saver 93 for 10 British pounds, proper money. Hi, love the channel. Question: Who would you want to take over Star Wars? I don't know who could take it over, but they should just do Knights of the Old Republic, the game, as a new cinematic movie trilogy. I honestly don't think there's anybody in Hollywood who could take over Star Wars and bring it back to its former glory. I don't think there's anybody alive who can do it. It was George Lucas's baby. And it just ain't Star Wars without George. I wish I had an answer. I would direct fans to go take it over. I think they should get a council of probably Star Wars Theory, Mahler, Ryan, Drinker, because they still care about Star Wars. I'm completely checked out. Get Chris. Put Chris on that council. You know, there's still some... I love the old Star Wars. I'll always love it, but I just don't care. I think there's so much more bad than good. There's other things I still care about. Like I'll still watch old Doctor Who. I still love old Star Trek. As far as working in Hollywood right now, I don't think there's anybody alive who can bring Star Wars back to its former glory. I think there might be somebody who might make it mediocre. Tubester57 for $5. Found my comic, Gary. Spidey Unlimited 16. Was thinking I hallucinated a whole comic. Okay. There you good. I'm glad you found it. Silver Sable in form-fitting chrome. Yeah, baby. Silver Sable is an action figure that's hanging here, and she's the biggest pain in the ass because her leg always falls off. The joint in her leg broke. So, like, every few months I find it laying on the floor for some reason, and I put it back on, and I don't know why I just don't glue it. I don't know. Haim Burrell for 60 shekels says, going from the Corpo DEI race card to a capitalist gold card sounds pretty good. Yes, let's fucking go. Let's go. CS615 for $10. Hail, Gary. This is for Hideo Nomo reference on Real BBC. There you go. He had a weird pause at the top of his delivery. Yes, he did. Pitched for my Red Sox and had a couple of no-hitters. Thanks for the trip down memory lane. Yes, I can say it. Memory lane. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, Hideo Nomo, and then there was, I'm blanking on his name. Who was the big Japanese pitcher who went to the Yankees, but he was the Padres had his rights, and he fucked over the Padres to go to New York, and everybody hated him, and then he ended up not doing that well. Hideo Nomo. Yeah, Hideo Nomo was on the Dodgers too, and he had a very strange delivery. But that's when the Japanese players started coming over and making waves, getting good enough for the big leagues, and they were fucking good. They were good. Japanese Demon Lord Abir Lucifer for $5. Hi, Chris and Gary. What are your opinions on those BMW films with Clive Owen from the early 2000s? I'm guessing you've seen those short films. I have. They were all right. Clive Owen, I think younger would have been a very good James Bond. But yeah, he's in this movie for 5 minutes. Abigor for $6.66. Chris, have Gary play the trailer for Havok by Garth Evans. Havoc. Director of Raid 1 and 2 with Tom Hardy. Pure adrenaline. Ooh. When's that coming out?
I don't know.
You haven't seen the trailer for Havoc?
I have not seen it. I'll look it up right now.
Look it up right now.
But I do have a trailer for something related. Would you trust me, Gary, to share something?
Yeah.
Real quick. This is a video. This is what we could have had. I don't know if you've seen this. It's a Star Wars 4 trailer from 1994. This could have been made in 1994.
Sure.
Sharing it?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Well, we don't have to watch all of it. It's 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Here we go.
War rages across the galaxy. And the Empire rises again.
Oh.
A new clone army. There's only one man who can take them down.
You need to make this.
Schwarzenegger is back.
Oh my God.
Has been holding our highest grade commando since the last Chicago War.
If we free him, we could take back the old rebel base and cripple the Empire supply chain.
Obviously, this is AI, but look at this. This is the Star
Oh my
Wars
God.
movie I want. R-rated, sexy. Yeah, Will Smith.
They destroyed everything he
Conan.
I told you I'll be back. And back you are.
Oh my god.
And now he's back to settle the score.
Oh, man. Oh, gory.
Why don't you ask my Wookiee?
Why don't you ask my Wookiee? Okay.
Oh my
Stop it.
god.
Yeah, stop it.
Okay, sorry about that, Gary.
No, it's all good.
Oh,
It's all good. We didn't want to go that long. We're on limited time today. So
yeah, sorry about that. But it's we didn't get look at how action packed the ideas, sexy women's starship porn, like just all the like everything. It's to me, it's like the Blade thing. It's so easy. Don't overthink it.
They aren't. No,
Star Wars
it's
even.
not overthinking. It's unwillingness. Okay,
Yeah.
it's too masculine. It's too patriarchal.
Right.
It's sexist in some way that like they've imagined. Like they're unwilling. We talk about the masculinity missing from Marvel, missing from Star Trek. It's missing from Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's just missing from Hollywood overall.
Trust me, it is. I see a lot of movies that I wouldn't even waste your time. I saw The Last Breath at Woody Harrelson. It's all right. It's a streaming movie in theaters. And again, Simu Liu's in it, which kind of ruins it. But anyways. Yeah, masculinity is missing in Hollywood.
Yep. Andrew Fay for $9.99. Hail, dare I say, post KK. Could you have Oz's Munchkins refaced with YouTubers looping them singing "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead"? A whimsical treat. Great episode. Cheers. Thanks. Oh, I'm sure somebody could do it. Dude, you look at that and you're like, hey, it's obviously AI, but fucking Hollywood's cooked. They are cooked. Special effects people, you're going to be out of work. You're all going to be out of work. Game designers, you're all going to be out of work very soon.
Yeah.
Like this stuff is, and kids, like there's, you know what? Kids are playing with AI. Lots of kids are playing with AI. Lots of them. A lot of them are like, hey, I have this comic book idea, and they're just running stuff through AI. Like it's I think a lot of artists thought they were just irreplaceable until now. And now it's, yeah. You're just like the auto assembly, there's still people, there's still humans assembling automobiles. I went through a factory with on one of my kids' field trips, a Toyota factory not too long ago. But it's a human facilitating a machine that used to take 10 or 15 humans, that took the job from 10 or 15 humans. And it's far more efficient. And they're cranking out fucking Toyota trucks, like one per minute. It's nuts.
Damn.
It's nuts. So that's what's coming. And we can debate on whether it's right or wrong, whether we like it or not. It is. And you see that, and yeah, you'll be able to make cheap Star Wars movies that'll look pretty fucking good. Will they need a human hand guiding behind it? Yes, but they won't need 300 or how we see all those credits now. How many people work on an average blockbuster movie, Chris?
Oh my God. If you look at Marvel movies, it's in the thousands now. Yeah. I mean, I joke that they should take the credits and say, go to this link for a PDF of the credits. It's ridiculous.
Yes. Echoes of the Ancients for $2. Game over, man. Game over. Ray Gonzalez for $5. Seeing is believing, so I'll believe it when the dumb cow is gone. It's just sad that Star Wars was a casualty of all this. It was a casualty of, they will say, the culture war, but it was a casualty of Disney. It was a casualty of Disney. They'll blame the fans. They'll blame the culture war. They'll say, nobody wants this job. Well, if somebody knew their shit, I think there's a lot of people still in Hollywood who are very confident and will go in there. I think the people who want the job right now and could fix it, but the people who want, but they won't be allowed to be creatively free. So the people who want the job right now are just fucking social climbing, fucking corporatists.
Yep.
That's it.
100%. 100%.
Top Gun Maverick is the best Star Wars movie ever since Revenge of the Sith. It's not wrong. No one will remember. By the way, that was from Snake Oil Sean. Thank you for $10.
Jedi Ben.
Jediah Ben. It's Jediah Ben. No one will remember KK's success. They'll only know she destroyed the biggest property in the history of film. Yes, but Hollywood will act like that never happened. Pablo Papano for $2 says, Chris, no Trump voters watch the Film Actors Guild or the Oscars. So,
True.
They watch the Oscars. They do not watch the Film Actors Guild Awards, though. No.
The Oscars is like the Super Bowl, like a big, but less important in recent decade.
Yeah.
I'd say. Far less important.
Oh, I'm betting Trump maybe up until very recently watched the Oscars. Probably out of the corner of his eye while he's doing 5 other things, but he paid attention.
To make sure he gets mentioned so he can comment on it.
The Cleaner, a Ray skyscraper story. Metal Burner.
That's it.
$10.
Oh my God.
Gary, make that the title on your thumbnail, please.
Macho Camacho 64 for $10 says X-Ray Girl for Lucasfilm President 2026. Well, she knows more about Star Wars than Kathleen Kennedy.
Hell no, what I think.
The only award KK deserves is the Golden Coffee Mug, recognized for the only thing she did well, bringing coffee to a smarter, more talented man, says the Maroc for $4.99. Snacks for $5. KK walks away from Star Wars like my uncle walks away from Taco Bell bathroom. Yep. Andrew Cram for $10. Maybe they could just sell Star Wars IP at a loss. They'll never sell it. They'll never, ever sell it.
Nope.
Okay. Let's just backtrack to bullshit rumors. There were rumors that Disney was going to sell Star Wars. There were people out there pushing that Disney was going to sell Star Wars. And again, feel free to push whatever bullshit you want because it's a free country. Just know it's bullshit. And just know you're pushing bullshit. Authenticity is the currency of the future. Mr. Big Morg for $9.99. Have there been any reactions to Daredevil Reborn? Just from the usual suspects, the people who got to see it early, they're saying it's great. As and I talked about, I have not seen it, but I'm told it is a slow burn. It is a very slow burn. And then it really sticks the landing. That's what I've been told. Chris, have you seen Daredevil Born Again?
I have not, but Gary, I'm happy to report I'm getting all the episodes this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
So next week I will have seen all of it.
All of it.
I'm watching it over the weekend. So, yeah, I'm going to watch it. I'll text you.
Okay. I know a little bit what happens in it.
Yeah, I'm sure you know a lot. So,
I want it to be good. I want it to be good. Really want it to be good. Daredevil is my main man. Same here. And they tried to ruin him in Me Too Hulk. I'm really nervous about this show. Thanks for all you guys do. Yeah. They are not going to reference, She-Hulk and Echo they are erased. They are disappeared. They don't get mentioned in the show, like at all. The Lone Boomer for $5. Star Wars could be saved in 18 to 24 months, but it would require doing things Iger would never agree to do. I agree with that. Yes, it is absolutely possible to save all of these things, but there is an unwillingness, an unwavering unwillingness to do it in Hollywood. Ricky Bobby for $10. With due respect, Mr. Feige, I had no idea you got an experimental surgery to have your balls removed. Well, Feige, he certainly liked to take credit for the great things the Marvel Cinematic Universe did, and it did great things. We cannot deny that. It did great things. But he was surrounded by a lot of good people who are now gone.
At the risk of extending the show, Gary, I shared an image here. Breaking news. Snow White popcorn buckets and cups will be at Cinemark And there's
They look
even
like popcorn buckets.
they look
A
like
cape?
normal popcorn buckets. So make of it what you will. There is like a mine car, but it looks like, to me, I look at that image, it looks like a coffin or a casket. Anyways, I know you're up on your buckets and you have some buckets as well.
I do. I love my Nosferatu bucket and my I hated Alien Romulus, but they had a good popcorn bucket.
They had a good bucket.
I hated War of the Rohirrim, and
But you
they-
got the bucket.
but I
You
got
did
the Helm Hammerhand fucking
there you
hammer.
go. Well, Snow White,
Yep.
prepare for buckets and cups. There you
Yep.
go.
Oh.
No, I won't derail the show again, I promise.
J-Boy for $5. First 3 indie films and young indie TV show, and that's all I recognize. Nothing more, nothing less. There you go. Hey You for $5. Regarding Lucasfilm being a thankless job, in the words of Don Draper, that's what the money is for. That's what the money is for. And Harrison Ford, by the way. Sir Clive Calculator for 10 British pounds, proper money. Gary, I now realize I have been to your store with a friend who worked at ILM. I ate at the video cafe afterwards. I can't wait to read the book. The Video Cafe, bro. Oh my God. On Geary. I used to go there after every movie. We'd go to the Video Cafe, Chris, in San Francisco. Are you familiar with what it used to be?
No, I'm not.
It was a diner and a video store.
Wow.
And it was open late. Because believe it or not, there weren't a lot of people, like even prior to COVID in San Francisco, there wasn't a ton of 24-hour joints like to go to at all. So I think Mel's Diner just stayed open late. So you can go to Mel's Diner back across the street from the former Sony Metreon, and the Video Cafe. I used to go there all the time. That was fun. Well, cheers. Thanks for coming by my store. Yes, people from ILM, people from the orphanage, people from Dolby, people from Lucasfilm, LucasArts, people from Google, people from all shopped at my store. People from IGN back in the early days. Stark people for 50 Martian pesos. Yesterday, I had my birthday. Happy birthday. And I wanted to thank you, Mahler and Critical Drinker, for the few years of showing me I wasn't insane. First super chat and greetings from Poland. Hey, I just watched Poland is beautiful. So if you want to see how beautiful Poland is, not super familiar with Poland. And I watched the Grand Tours Eurocross special drives through Poland, and it's fucking beautiful. Hail Poland. I want to go there someday.
Same.
Want to go there.
Heard great things.
Yep. John Gibson for $10. KK is the Dean Spanos of studio execs. Fuck Dean Spanos. Love you. Christian Santalan for $5. Imagine if Captain Marvel travels to the Star Wars universe and becomes a Jedi. Listen, there's been a Star Trek and X-Men crossover in the comics, Did they do?
Dumber things have happened. But haven't you seen that Brie Larson was like, Star Wars? Did someone say Star Wars?
No.
She tweeted that once.
Oh boy. Wasn't there, I don't buy new Marvel comics and I won't, but wasn't there some talks about doing a Star Wars Marvel, or have they done it already? Crossover?
I think it'd make more sense to do Marvel and DC crossover. It's like the
it
final
does make
nail.
more sense, but not now.
The final nail.
Well, yeah,
and
we could do the
Avengers-
Marvel DC crossover. Which gay characters win?
The Avengers versus
gay versus
Justice
gay.
League. Yeah.
Marvel
I
and
don't know,
DC,
like-
gay versus gay. Let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember the Star Trek X-Men crossover. Christian Santalan, thank you very much for the $5. Butter Biscuit 92 on the Streamlabs side for $3. There are no in-house options to replace KK. Favreau doesn't have the balls to fire people or back them up publicly. Nothing will change with Filoni, and Kevin is a fraud. Lucasfilm is dead, and it's too late to fix it without an Elon like or other. I agree. I don't think there's anybody in Hollywood capable of even taking it on. 20 years ago, you can get some. Oh fuck. But none of them will want to do it. You get a Robert Zemeckis or you get a Spielberg. There's more Spielberg proteges than there are George Lucas proteges. George Lucas proteges are very technical people. Spielberg proteges are creative people. And Zemeckis is one of them. But no, there's just no one out there like that. Like Hollywood's losing its talent. The talent is aging out. There's a finite amount of talent in the world that can make movies. But they are also artists, and they are now going to other things where they can make the most money and be the most creative. They're going to go to, I don't know if gaming is the place to go, but there's other things, or they can just go out on their own now. Imagine a really fucking talented director. Most of them hate AI, but imagine one that does embrace it. Yeah, I don't see Chris Nolan taking on AI anytime soon. The guy doesn't have a fucking cell phone. Good for him, by the way.
Yeah.
Mike S. Hangout for $4.99. Hey, Carrie. On this. Hey, Carrie.
Oh my God, I just clicked on.
X-Ray Girl. She doesn't edit any of the super chats. They just roll through.
Edit a little bit.
She copies and pastes. Actually, I'll go with Carrie. I'm in a Stephen King book. I think they're remaking it into a series. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for Daredevil Born Again? Keep up the good work. I mean, this is pretty high for a D+ show. I'd say 6.5. That's pretty high for a Disney Plus show. That's live action. Look what they did to my boy Moon Knight. That is still my biggest disappointment. Because I thought I like Oscar Isaacs. I think he's great casting for it. But they fucked that up. Simon Ho for 2 Canadian pesos. Kathleen Kennedy. Leaving is a drop your pants victory. Yes. Matthew Garrett for $1.99. Calling it now. Rianne Johnson takes the helm. Oh, let's go. Aaron K for $4.99. What do you guys think of Star Wars movie in the theme/likeness of Blazing Saddles? Well, they did Spaceballs, and now they're doing Spaceballs 2, and it's being brought to us by the woefully untalented Josh Gad, who's just fat and annoying.
Instantly not interested.
Yeah, it's just checked out on that. Not even, fuck that guy. Ding Dong does it for $5. New York Post, unfortunately, has an article, has a lot of detail about Trachtenberg's story. Sad. Rest in peace. Harriet the Spy. Don, you want to take a look at that? Yeah. And I'll keep reading these. Adam Ant for $5. R.I.P. Harriet the Spy. Yeah. Let the Ewoks run Star Wars. Yub Nub Chronicles. They'd be more qualified, even though I don't like Ewoks. Green Blossom for $2. Sydney Sweeney as Leia. Do it. Yes. Scott 2 for £5 British. A New Hope frame by frame remake by Favreau. No Hamill. Bring Hayden, Ewan, McDermott, etc. back. Well, you could bring Ewan back. Why would you bring Hayden? Oh, you bring Hayden back, play Darth Vader, and just play Darth Vader? I think he'd do it. I'd be fine with that. I'm fine with them recasting Mark Hamill. I have no problem at all.
Hell yeah.
The Ron, thank you for the $1. £1 British proper money. Don't want to sell you guys short. Steve Kettner for $2. Do Hard outside of Benny and June 2. Choco Rage for $1.99. Hitler is gone. And this is Kathleen. Default for $2. Which Best Picture nominee would you say is best? Is best that I've seen so far? Oh, Amelia Perez by far. No.
It's the best one.
No. Dune 2. Dune 2.
So they're saying on the New York Post story that she was gaunt and frail and recently had a liver transplant.
Okay, so she
was in poor health.
Poor health. Okay, unless she had so maybe she had liver and kidney disease.
Yeah.
I don't want to speculate too much, but gaunt, eating disorder is probably the first thing that comes to your mind, which is very sad. But that might not be the case. She might have been very thin and gaunt because she had a liver disease or kidney disease.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yep. But sometimes eating disorders can bring those on. So.
Yep. Anyway.
Rudy for $5. What I hate about living in LA is how brainwashed people are and refuse to see outside the LA bubble and assume the world thinks like them. No logic. Ray Gonzalez for $5. Just keep Sebastian away from Baldwin. If he is going to be dressed like Trump, Baldwin may want to break his neck. Yeah. People watch out around Baldwin. He's a little dangerous. Nick X Herring for £5 The most cringe fuck Donald Trump I've seen was Greg Miller's speech at the Dice Awards. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Rudy for $5. As someone who works a blue-collar government job, there's so many redundant office positions due to nepotism. I can only imagine on the federal level. I bet. Yeah. Lots of middle management. That's who we're pointing the finger at mostly. Sock Puppet Joe for $5. Culver City here. Leftists always talk like that. Chris Pierce for $5. What's going on with the transgender horror flick? I know what you were last summer. Seeley for $5 says, hey, y'all, which of the MCU Phase 4 project was most disappointing and why? Asking each person. Also, have you guys watched Paradise? Great show. I have not seen it. And I just said, I'd say most disappointing was, no, it's Doctor Strange Mom by Raimi. That's the most disappointing. Chris, what's your most disappointing Marvel Phase 4 flick or show?
Oh my God. All the shows, probably Falcon and Winter Soldier, most disappointing. I don't know. Some of them I didn't watch. And then, yeah, I don't know. They're all so bad. I think Eternals was the worst. That one was so awful. So.
Rated M for $4.99. Will the Ripper version of your book have comic panels of the book in it too? Also started watching X-Files because of you and then found out my girlfriend of, is that right? Of 7 is a fan. I hope your girlfriend's not 7.
I think it means 7 years, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Girlfriend
Or
of
7
7
months.
years is a fan. Because kid. For one, she's too young to be watching X-Files.
Stop it.
Listen. Rated M is only 9. Okay, so it's cool. What the fuck?
You know what? We're talking about Amelia Perez here, and it's not like trans people have not been represented in film. Everyone forgets Israel Luna's film, TikTok's Trannies with Knives.
Yeah, well, that's more real.
Everyone forgets that movie.
Well, they're not forgetting it. Now it's TikTok trannies with guns. So
yeah, I mean, everyone, like Amelia Perez is sucking the air, all the attention when everyone forgets this classic.
Yeah.
Look up that movie.
I've never heard of it, so I couldn't forget it.
Well, there you go.
Thomas Pickett. What? Okay, so you said Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is certainly the most racist. The question was asked. So there is art in the book, but it's a memoir. But there's art, and some of it will be comic art.
Is there embarrassing photos of you like when you were a kid?
I don't think no. I mean, I don't think it's an embarrassing photo, but I'm as a kid on the cover.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Maybe we should have done that embarrassing photo. I didn't want to I wanted to keep it more about the story. But I've got some stories that you'll get the novel and then the audiobook comes out 3 months later and I'm going to riff on that.
Yeah, do it like Adam Carolla does that.
I'm going to riff on it.
In his audio.
So it's a different experience. Thomas Pickett for $2. Dan Stevens should have been the next 007. He's a good actor. He is. Soundwave SG1 for £2 Just want to say hey and keep up Lord's work. Cheers. Thank you. TJ Chronic for $5. Sorry if this has already been talked about, but apparently Michelle Trachtenberg just passed. Yes, we did talk about it. We did.
Yeah.
Sean P for 2 Canadian pesos. Over under. Chani isn't a girl boss in Dune Messiah.
She is definitely a girl boss in Dune Messiah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
They completely changed her character.
At the
Go
end.
to Nerd Cookies channel that has all the.
She breaks it
the
down.
best stuff on that. She's
Time
great.
Saver 93 for £5 Disney and other franchises should hire fans who know the brands. But what would you and Chris do with Star Wars now or in video? Oh, if I was in total charge, I would wipe out everything Disney has done.
And I would put it on ice for a number of years.
And bring it back. Here's the trouble. Star Wars is a normie brand. It's a very normie science fiction brand, very normie friendly, but the characters that are normie friendly, you'd have to recast, which makes it difficult because ultimately the tier that the original trilogy on, and I respect the fact that the prequels captured a generation, but the tier that the OT is on is so much higher. So much higher. And the problem with Star Wars is they'll talk about there's 17,000 characters. No, there's about 6. There's about 6. And you need those 6 characters to introduce the other characters to maybe lift them up. And you're way past that. So it's a difficult nut to crack, not impossible. I think you continue Star Wars as a niche brand. And you try to satisfy your base. You go to the hardcore fans, fuck the normies right now, and you go keep it simple. You go back to basics and you try to make something for your fucking base. And then if you increase that base, they become the shepherds of new fans.
Yep.
But you have to start over. And no corporation that spent $4 billion in something is willing to do that and to make it a niche brand. Operation Outstanding in Field for $1.99. Donation of X-Ray Girls Gold Card. There you go. JH for $3. Marvel Comics is doing Godzilla versus Fantastic Four in March. I actually like that idea, but the Avengers fought the Transformers. They've taken on Godzilla in the past. Superheroes have taken on Godzilla in the past. Gary, Chris, Star Wars has always been political, but no, it hasn't. But always been about geopolitics, never identity politics. Or am I wrong? Love y'all. It's about good and evil.
Never pushed an agenda at all.
Like the only thing reflecting politics is like the Empire's space Nazis.
Yeah.
They're space Nazis. They're actually very inclusive space Nazis now at Disney, but they're space Nazis. And like, I guess, George, the Ewoks were the Viet Cong. That's really.
It is what it is.
But as a kid, you're just watching good fight evil. That's all. So if you're talking about broad strokes, okay. But no, it's not about identity politics. Oilers Workshop for $4.99. When does the audiobook come out after the print release? About 3 months. I will listen as I work on art projects. Been waiting for you since you are at 40K subs. Cheers, brother. Thanks.
Now who is going to read the audiobook?
Me.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Because I've heard some other audiobooks by authors where other people were brought in to read certain chapters. I'm saying that I've had friends do audiobooks. They say it's a slog. Oh. It's a slog. Like, if you wanted to bring in like Ryan to read some chapters or Beardo. Well, Beardo would have to pronounce words.
We'll see. Beardo would have to I'm reading a chapter. I'm reading a chapter of an audiobook.
Or maybe get like
I'm reading a chapter of an audiobook. That's not mine. Yeah.
Maybe Jay, Drunk 3PO, read like a half a chapter.
Yep.
Just for the lulls.
I'll tell you who. We probably already said it on the live stream, but I shouldn't say. But I'm reading a chapter for an audiobook. I'm going to do it this weekend.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go. But yeah, maybe we'll see how like, yeah, if it takes too long, I don't know, but I think I should read it. Maybe. Got to watch the Trump impersonator heckle Baldwin, rated M for $1.99. I saw it. Yeah.
That's great.
Krog for 50 Swedish krona, the one genre that became better in the era of woke slashers, e.g. Halloween Kills, Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 2022. Seriously enjoy watching those. Yeah, like low budget horror has always been a go-to for Hollywood. And people like to see people get slashed up. I am not the biggest fan of slasher horror. Never have been. I like supernatural horror.
There's good stuff and bad stuff. That movie recently, what was it called? Hard Eyes was good. It's a romantic comedy that's also a good slasher movie. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. Krog for 50 Swedish krona. I already read that one. Rated M for $1.99. My girlfriend of 7 years, to be clear.
Sorry.
Sealy for $5 says Eternals was going to spin off into Game of Thrones based off the post-credit scene with Black Knight. For Marvel, not getting this sucks. Boo Disney. Well, Black Knight, I mentioned that in the video. There's some hanging threads that are going to completely be forgotten now. Liam Bennett for €5. Hail Nerdrotic. Early on, you mentioned there'd be a credit for contributing to the book title. Did that make the final cut? Stay highly organized. There has to be. I got to remember who did the credit though. Did we keep notes on that? X-Ray Girl.
I mean, it depends on where you got the title. I'm not aware of where you got it.
From a stream.
Because I know there were emails as well. Oh, it was from
there
stream?
were emails. Yeah. I'll ask Melissa. But yes, if we could remember, I mean, was it you, Liam? Are you sure? I mean, if it was, just email us. But whoever came up with it first.
If it was on Google Drive, I have a Google Drive of suggestions of names, but I don't remember where you got it specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could remember who came up with Friday Night Tights in the chat. But we just say the chat at this point. I did not come up with Friday Night Tights. TJ Crink for $2. Have Tardo read a chapter. Oh, that'd be fun. The Warrock for $1.99. Gary, auction off reading chapters for your book.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think it's a fun thing to have like one chapter read by people in the sphere, you know?
I get the fun part about it, but we got to think about reader experience. Do they want consistency and, you know?
It could be like a bonus part too, not part of the outside the book. Like a bonus feature, like deleted scenes or something.
We're just spitballing here. All right.
Yeah.
That wraps it up. Chris, you got a show later. What do you got coming up?
I do. Hollywood on the Rocks. We will talk about this documentary that played Slam Dance called Stolen Kingdom about Walt Disney and people breaking into Disney and stealing stuff. Plus, reminder, our Oscar watch party with Gary and others on Sunday, March 2nd. We start at 4 p.m., but the Oscars are not until 5. So Gary, you're welcome. Please be late. It's cool. People will kind of pile on. We'll have a big group. We'll watch the Oscars together and we will celebrate. I think I have here Amelia Perez. I have lots of Amelia Perez merch to give away during the stream. So Amelia Perez.
Yes.
So there we go.
Gascon. Man, that sure got quiet.
Yeah.
That controversy,
right?
That controversy just got shut down, man.
More nominations than The Godfather.
Jesus.
Tied with Gone with the Wind. So we'll see how it does. I think maybe it wins 1 or 2, but we'll see. It could sweep. It could sweep.
Ran out of channel names for $5. Can't read super chat. Sucks at ad reads. Wants to read an audiobook. Yeah. I mean, you can edit. That's the beauty of editing.
Yeah, I think when you get into it deep in the weeds to read the book out loud, Gary, are you sure? I don't know, man.
No, I'm ditching my bifocal progressives, whatever the fuck they are, and just going back to reading glasses.
Dude,
so I don't have to look up all the time.
It has been recommended to me to get cataract surgery. This is where I'm at.
Same here. I ain't doing
Same, really?
Yeah, you see what it includes though? Holy shit.
What?
I'll
What?
wait till last minute.
Oh, like do the actual process?
The actual process, yeah. They showed me the actual process. I'm like, I'll wait until I really fucking need it.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
It's like 10 grand.
Matthew Hammond for $1 says, I sent a super chat at the end of the Forbidden Frontier and Nerdrotic Live, but the show ended before it was read. I was also sent an email, the too long DR watch Stargate on Amazon Prime for simplicity. The whole series was shot in 16:9 with 5.1 surround sound. Matthew wants me to watch Stargate. I want to watch Stargate. I do. All right. X-Ray Girl, what do you got coming up?
Poor choices tonight, and that's pretty much it. There's another super chat that came in. Watch the film for $9.99. Says any news on the Mortal Kombat 2 film? Not that I heard.
Not that I know.
And then Clink Clink, I'm a tank for $5 says I heard Elliot Page was changing names to fill up space Mike space Hunt space.
Fill up
I
my
don't
cunt?
want to say.
Fill up my cunt?
Thank
Can't
you.
do that anymore. You
That
gave
was
that
a
up.
poor choice. That was a poor choice right there.
All right. I'm going to go work on a video. Should be out tomorrow. It's not about Star Wars. Star Wars will be mentioned in it. We're definitely going to mention the Kathleen Kennedy thing, but I'm not going to make a video on her retiring victoriously. I have made a video, if you want to refer to like how we got here, and it's top 10 Disney Star Wars failures. It's Perry's best editing job. It's on the channel. Says it all there. But or watch, like other people are making videos. You can go watch their videos. I've got I was going to do a Cap 4 flops video, and it kind of turned into something else. So we'll see. It's just the future of Marvel. So I was like, hey, at least they're turning things around and stuff, but I'm just not sure where they're at right now. And it turns out a lot of people are starting to think that too, including Rob Liefeld, who has been fucking
I think they're
ruining Kevin Feige. It's so good.
I think they're in transition, and it's remains to be seen. That's it.
Remains to be seen.
Yeah.
All right, so go check out Film Threat. What Ripper and Silverback are on.
I have it redirected for them.
All right, we'll go see them, and I'll get to work eventually. And and everybody have a great day.
Bye.
Later.